Okay, a bad cold will not stop me from doing this rig rundown for what I'm taking to NAMM. I found out that I can't flip my camera around while I'm recording, so my apologies. And Hugh, this is especially for you, being that you are my first Patreon patron or member. I'm not sure what terminology to use. So let me get on the other side of the screen again, and I'll walk you through what's going on. All right, so we have, of course, the bass that I'm bringing. This is the MTD 635-24. So this guy uses this Shure wireless system, or I like to use a wireless system. This is the Shure GLX-D system. It has a couple of numbers after that that are appended that tell you whether it uses the bass unit receiver or like a pedal board style receiver. So this is actually this guy on top. That's the bass unit receiver, and actually I can see there it says, oh, it doesn't want to focus, but it says GLX-D4, and I think the whole system is called the GLX-D14. Anyways, that is the receiver. So that guy is going out via this purple Tsunami Cables cable into the input right there of my Helix. So I've got the Helix set up as just a bass processor right now. I've played around with it being bass and vocals, but right now it's just a bass processor. The issue for me, I could simplify my setup if I could just get used to using less effects, fewer effects. Then this line on top that represents one channel, in the past I've had that be a microphone channel, but there's only so much processing power per channel, and there's two channels here. And I can't get all of these effects down here. It runs out of processing power. So I just use it for bass right now, and then it's going out via this 1/4 inch here. There's two outs, so I'll explain that in a second. So this is going out to, go around the circle, to my new Motu M4 interface. So that's going into channel 1 right there. And that is interfacing via USB-C cable, which is the best thing ever, to my HP laptop, and this is running Ableton Live. So up here, I have all these different tracks that I can play to, all these different samples for some of the songs that use electronic tracks and things like that. You can see the names there, and they're also associated with different BPMs, and in some cases, different time signatures. So those allow me to launch different tracks to play along with a click track, and then that comes back down into, well, actually, as long as we're on inputs, microphone will go into input 2 of the interface. Okay, hopefully you're with me so far. Meanwhile, there is a parallel out of my Helix that's going into my in-ear monitor system, which is this guy on the bottom. And that goes into one channel, one side channel. And the idea is it has two inputs, it has two channel inputs, and that allows me to get a feed from front of house and have my own direct bass signal, so I can control my own mix if I want more bass or more of everything else. Very, very handy for me. It's helped me not play so hard and lighten up and just be able to hear myself better. So that's really cool. So out of this guy, we've got 4 outputs. I'm not using them all right now, but output 1, which is this XLR, this is the tracks. This is the tracks from the computer, and that would go to front of house. In this case, since I'm just setting this all up, to kind of test everything, I'm just having it go directly into my in-ear system. So I'm balancing the tracks and the vocal mic with my bass on the 2 channels of my input system. But ordinarily, that would go out to front of house. Then this guy, well, it's being unused, as you can see. So these are all balanced XLR outs. The issue is they're 1/4 inch over here, and I had a bunch of these. I had 4 of these little cool adapter guys, but they're so fat, they can't be next to each other. So I can only use 2 of those, and then I have 2 of these kind of XLR breakout cables. So this, I think, is channel 2, and this would go to a bass amp or to the board being my bass DI signal after the computer. Channel 3 is a click track, and channel 4 is the vocal mic out. So with everything all together, I get 3 discrete channels of audio. I get tracks, vocal mic, and bass, and I can control all of them, if it's set up this way, I can control all of them with different volume sliders. You can even see when I speak into the microphone, that green level gets larger. So I can control all of them here. So it's pretty versatile, and this is one of the more complicated versions of this setup. It can be simplified, but I wanted to test things with it being as complex as it's going to be. All right, so that's a walkthrough, a Patreon exclusive walkthrough of my NAMM rig. So we'll see in a couple weeks here how effective this is and whether it'll all end in catastrophe or happiness and joy. All right, thanks for watching.